Welcome to our Crypto News in 10, a daily podcast bringing you the latest news about crypto in under 10 minutes. Here's your quick overview for Monday, March 23, 2026. We've got a brand new Bitcoin fear gauge going live on Cboe, a highly anticipated token launch from Backpack that ties staking to real company equity, a final migration deadline for Nillion as it moves from Cosmos to Ethereum, a key Polkadot runtime upgrade window opening as early as today, and two global conferences kicking off in Tokyo and across Poland. Let's get into the headlines that matter. First up, a Bitcoin volatility index you'll actually see on trading screens. Cboe launches BITVX today, the Cboe IBAT Volatility Index. It's modeled on the well-known VIX approach, but calibrated to Bitcoin using options tied to BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, ticker IBIT. The index captures 30-day implied volatility from those options prices, giving traders and risk desks a standardized benchmark to hedge BTC exposure or to price volatility-driven strategies. Cboe's derivatives lead, Rob Hocking, says the goal is a transparent, rules-based read on expected volatility, essentially taking the VIX framework and applying it to Bitcoin. With CME already pushing into crypto volatility gauges last year, this Cboe launch could accelerate listed vol products. Think structured notes, option spreads, even funds that reference a common BTC vol index. Watch how market makers quote options once a daily BITVX print appears. Tighter spreads around newsy hours would be an early sign that the benchmark is catching on. That lines up with Cboe's March 9th announcement and industry briefs on today's Go Live. Story 2. Backpack's token generation event lands today, and it's not the typical utility token drop. The exchange and wallet from the team behind Solana's Mad Lads plans to distribute 25% of the BP token supply at TGE, with 24% to points earners and 1% to the Mad Lads community per earlier project communications. What's different is the equity path. Backpack has outlined a program where staking BP for a defined period can convert into a slice of actual company equity, positioning the token as a bridge to an eventual IPO rather than just governance theatre. In the run-up, pre-market venues listed BP perpetuals, and centralized exchanges opened pre-TGE campaigns, clear signals of demand heading into claim day. If execution goes smoothly, watch Solana DeFi flows and NFT floor prices for Mad Lads, two areas that could see quick knock-on effects from claim and stake behavior. This follows Backpack's TGE explainer and third-party listings that detail distribution and pre-market activity. Quick context here. Backpack's model leans into real-world corporate milestones, ultimately a public listing, so volatility may cluster around disclosures of equity conversion mechanics, regional securities guidance, and any lockup schedules. Pre-market pricing has hinted at a mid-nine-figure fully diluted valuation, but secondary trading after TGE will decide whether the equity link commands a premium. Story 3. Last call for Nillion's chain migration. Nillion, the privacy tech network focused on decentralized compute and data, has been moving from its Cosmos-based Nil chain to Ethereum. The team rolled out a verification layer called Blacklight and an ERC20 NIL, shifting staking and ecosystem coordination on chain where more users and tooling live. Exchanges have been assisting with the token migration. Kraken, for example, posted support docs and timelines to help users swap their Cosmos NIL to ERC20. The roadmap framed Q1 as the cutoff to fully pivot token utility to Ethereum, with community and exchange notices tying that transition to a March 23 deadline. If you hold legacy NIL, double-check your venue's process. After today, rewards and governance move to the ERC20 rails, and Cosmos-side tokens won't accrue utility. That's per Nillion's migration posts and exchange support documentation. What to watch next? Liquidity consolidation into the ERC20 pair, staking participation rates on Ethereum, and partner integrations that tap Nillion's compute layer. A smooth cutover should show up as tighter spreads and deeper books in the ERC20 market by midweek. Before we continue, here's a message from our sponsors.
Need elite developers fast? Elite Coders connects you with rigorously vetted senior engineers in 24 to 48 hours. Staff augmentation, dedicated teams, or full project delivery. We've got you covered. Visit elitecoders.co to get started today.
All right, let's get back to it. Story 4. Polkadot's next runtime rolls forward, potentially starting today. Core developers have signaled that the 2.1.0 runtime upgrade on Polkadot is most likely to land between March 23 and March 27, with a subsequent 2.1.1 toward month end after Kusama validation. For builders, the takeaway is simple. Finalize compatibility checks now. Feature flags and performance tweaks often unlock tooling gains for parachains and app teams. For token markets, these cadence upgrades matter less for near-term price and more for throughput and developer experience, both of which can influence where new app deployments land this quarter. Guidance points to a late March window on the Polkadot forum. Story 5. Two industry gatherings open their doors. In Tokyo, the AI, Blockchain, and Cybersecurity Conference runs March 23rd to 25, bringing together researchers and practitioners at the intersection of large language models, chain data, and threat modeling. That mix is increasingly relevant as AI agents begin to hold and move assets. Meanwhile, across Poland, Polish Blockchain Week kicks off a community-driven series through March 29th, highlighting regional startups, policy dialogues, and Web3 education. Conferences don't always move markets, but they do shape narrative. And in 2026, the AI plus crypto security stack is a narrative to watch. Before we wrap, a quick macro link back to Story 1. If BITVX gains traction, expect product builders to synthesize BTC carry and convexity plays around that index, similar to how VIX underpins structured volatility strategies in equities. Pair that with new token equity hybrids like backpacks, and you get two very different, but complementary, signals of crypto's maturation: standardized volatility benchmarks for pros and clearer ownership pathways for communities. That's the rundown for Monday, March 23rd, 2026. Cboe's BITVX gives Bitcoin a VIX-style heartbeat. Backpack's BP launch tests a token-to-equity design, Nillion finishes its move to Ethereum, Polkadot's upgrade window opens, and the industry takes the stage in Tokyo and Poland. Stay sharp out there. Volatility, utility, and security all share the mic this week. Thanks for listening, and see you tomorrow.